The real drum comes from you. Yeah. Just watch his coffee. Exuberance might cause like if I tell you now it's your fault, I'm like,
that was fear that it'd be real tragedy.
Yeah, I know.
that's fair. Last year was his birthday, and the first time, so he bought him an ice cream kit. He had ice cream kit before every game. This morning he bought one last weekend for his birthday, so he had a small piece of more. Before every game I have one. Not the healthiest, I understand. It's the superstition aspect takes over.
What's up, buddy?
Let's go, Whitby!
That's why I'm on this side today. I gotta even it out. I have him. I don't need him. They're broken already. Now they won't be inspired. Oh. You might as well force it right now. Here, you can pull it over and I'll try to pop it in a balloon. nice, just like, blue light symptoms, I guess you could say. He hasn't shot yet. He said he thinks he's going to be here this afternoon. Probably coming here now.
Versus the Wildcats, game 1 of the OMHA championship. Darling steps in to take the draw. He wins it back to Way. Way tried to hit Ambrosio, picked off by the Wildcats. Near wing, shot deflected wide by Way. Rebound comes to the far corner, played around on the near side. Ambrosio gets it at the half court, tipped in by the Wildcats. Darling comes up with it, sends it across for Jeffrey Stedman. Backhanded, picked off by the Wildcats to the far corner. Guard out front, shot. Stedman with the pad save, rebound out the far side. Trickles pass to the far corner, shot. Saved by Dittman again, rebound sitting there. Way sends it off the near boards up to through center ice. Into the Wildcat zone. Goaltender took a little bit of a slip. Ambrosio in on the forecheck. Wildcats played up to their blue line. And out. Cross ice to the near wing. Back in Flyers territory. Send it around behind the net to the far corner. Savory battles through the corner, gets it to the half boards. Whitby sends it back in deep. Play behind the Flyers net to the near side. O'Shea bumps his man. Guglietti at the half boards. Puck comes up. Savory clears it to the blue line. Picked up by Darling. Darling takes it down the near wing, in over the blue line. Cuts through the middle. Lost the handle on the far boards. Darling. Savory kept it in at the blue line. Chipped out by the Wildcats. Albert at center ice. Lifted into the Flyers zone. Felix off the boards, off the ref. Picked up by Nickel. Nickel up the near wing, through center. Passed across to Guglietti and over the blue line. Shot from the blue line, loose puck. Wildcats cleared to the far corner. Felix, Nickel, and Guglietti all in the corner. Shot from the steep angle by Guglietti, kicked wide. Wildcats send it back to the far corner. Up to the half boards. Felix got a stick on it, keep it in. Lifted high through center ice. Into the Flyers territory. That'll come to the near corner. Mass. Wildcats come up with it. Played out front. Intercepted, cleared out. Wildcats shot from the slot. Deflected wide by Dittman. Wildcats sort out front. Played safely behind the Flyers net. Whitby still with the puck deep in the Flyers territory. To the near corner, the Wildcats off the boards to the point. Sent back in deep. Mass gets it to the blue line, not out. Dumped back to the near corner by the Wildcats. They'll pick it up. Off the boards to the blue line. Cross ice to the slot. Shot. Tipped. Deflected wide. Wildcats play it behind to the near corner. Off the glass to the half boards. Wildcats get a piece of it. To Lunny. Lunny takes it out the far wing. Through center, in over the Wildcats' blue line. Shot there, deflected wide. And Drady comes into pressure. Comes to Telford at the blue line. Telford kept it in. To Lunny and Drady, miscommunication, cleared out. to center ice, in over the Flyers' blue line. Wildcats through the middle. Field to the near half boards. Walk their front, shot deflected wide. Jeffrey Stedman sends it to the near corner. Shelford to Way off the boards. That'll go down. Icing waved off. DeCamillis pressuring. Wildcats pick it up, take it behind the net to the far corner. DeCamillis just gets shaken off. Wildcats played up the near wing. Held there by Ambrosio. Back to the Wildcats. Comes up through center. Way picks it up at his own blue line, takes it to the opposite wing, shovels it towards the Wildcats' blue line. They'll pick it up and bring it back in their own zone and regroup. Darling pressuring with Ambrosio in the near corner. Wildcats played off the boards. Felix kept it, dumped it back in. Cleared up through center. Felix takes it down the near wing off the boards, lifted in for Ambrosio. Ambrosio takes a shot, pad save, rebound to the far half boards. Darling picks it up, drives it into the corner. Wildcats fire hard around the boards. That'll come up through center to O'Shea at his own blue line. He gets it to Felix. Chips it up through center. Darling ran out of room. Wildcats pick it up, back in the Flyers' territory. Steps around O'Shea, backhand off the post. Settles down behind the Flyers' goal. Wildcats in the far corner. Spinning, Savory on his man. Darling steps in to help, played back into the corner. Wildcats, stick check by O'Shea. Savory and Darling. Darling comes up with it. A bit of room, bit of a stick up near his face. Pass across to Ambrosio through center ice. In over the blue line. Ambrosio with a shot, blocked by Wildcats. Wildcats up the near wing. Pass through over the blue line. In deep shot. Off the glove of Dittman. Loose puck. Sitting there. Rebound. Shot. Dittman holds that for the whistle.
Get the pressure, boys!
4:24 to go in the first period. Nickel in for the draw. Wins that to Guglietti. Played to the point. Held there by the Wildcats. Back to Guglietti. He takes it up through the middle. Stretch pass intended for Felix. Just out of his reach. Wildcats pick it up in the far corner off the boards to the blue line. Still not out. Finally they bring it up through center. In over the Flyers' territory. Held there by Guglietti and Mass. Wildcats chip it in deep. They'll go around the boards to the far corner for Sloan. Sloan to Felix in pressure. He gets it to the blue line, but no further. Wildcats throw it in. Mass to Guglietti. Guglietti off the Wildcats into their territory. Wildcats regrouping. Passed up to the Flyers' blue line and in. Cross ice. Through Jeffrey Stedman to the far corner. Thrown out front, past everybody, comes to the near point. Wildcats play it across. Opposite side shot. Deflected and it's in. Telford steps in to take the draw for the Flyers after that goal. Scrum draw, center ice, chipped into the Wildcat zone. Andrade chasing behind the net to the far corner. Back up through center. Telford with a good stick onto Andrade. Andrade winds up, shoots. Into the glove of the goaltender. .3:05 to go in the first period. Flyers trailing by 1. Telford in for the draw. One behind the Wildcats net to the far side. Telford almost got a piece of it, stops it at the blue line. Wildcats pick it up through center. And over the blue line. Centering pass intercepted by Jeffrey Stedman to the blue line, not out. Shot deflected. Rebound comes to the near side. Way got and blocked that shot. Dittman will cover it for the whistle. Let's go, boys. Darling steps in for the draw to the left of Dittman. He wins it to the near corner. Ambrosio brings it up the boards. Lost it at the half boards. Wildcats dump it in back behind the Flyers' goal. Savory just overskated it. O'Shea pins his man. Ambrosio picks it up. Sends that across to DeCamillis through his skates up the center ice. Wildcats fire that hard back in the zone. Wildcats are offside. They got to regroup. O'Shea picks it up in the near side. Pass it up in through neutral ice to the Wildcats zone. Wildcats up to the Flyers blue line and in, just offside. Darling in to take the draw. Wildcats win it. DeCamillis almost got a piece of it, holds it at center ice. Darling steps in to help along the far boards. And Savory. Loose puck chipped towards the Flyers blue line. Savory collects it, sends it to O'Shea. O'Shea, stretch pass intended for Ambrosio right to the Wildcats stick. O'Shea kept it at center. Darling picks up the loose puck, breaks it over the blue line, runs out of room, kicks it back to his stick, sends it to Ambrosio underneath his stick before he gets dumped. Cleared up the center ice for O'Shea to Savory. Savory off the far boards for DeCamillis in over the blue line. Cleared out promptly by the Wildcats. DeCamillis brings it back in. Chips it in deep. He was in there all alone. Wildcats send it out the far side. The center, Felix, just offside. Nichols steps in to take the draw just outside the Wildcats blue line. He wins it to Guglietti in the zone. Chipped to the near boards. Guglietti picks it up, drags it in behind the net, tries to walk out with it, gets tripped up. Nichols bumps his man, gets the puck to Felix, pressuring, loose puck. Felix turns, fires it in deep. Wildcats off the near boards to the blue line, held there by Mass. To Guglietti. That puck will roll around the boards to the far side. To the Wildcats blue line. Nichols gets over there in a hurry. Wildcats pick it up. Sloan to Guglietti in over the blue line. Guglietti winds up, lets a shot go. Bouncing puck. Flyers took too long to get into the zone. Guglietti and Nichols in the near corner. Brought up by the Wildcats through center ice. Back in the Flyers territory down the near wing. Lost there, Felix. Sends it across for Andrade. He lost an edge. Wildcats pick it up. Walk to the far corner for Andrade. Gets it to Sloan. Sloan down the far wing. Gets it to Guglietti. Back to Sloan at the end of the first period. Flyers trail by one after the first period.
We have those noise cancellations. So we have those noise cancellations. People say, this is
Start the second period. Telford steps in to take the draw. Wildcats win it. Jeffrey Stedman swipes it, pokes it to Lunny. Lunny chips it in the zone, just the wrong side of center ice.
Let's go, Whitby!
effort on the draw. Wildcats win it back to the blue line. Shot from the slot, deflected wide by Way. Way hard around the boards. He'll clear that to center ice. Picked up by Telford. Telford through center, in over the blue line. He's got Lunny on the near wing. Pass just outside of his reach. Lunny picks it up in the near corner. Centering attempt picked off by the Wildcats. He'll skate it up through center ice. Wildcats. Shot blocked by Way. Way up the far wing. Lost it at center. Swings at it. And the Flyers are going to the box. Flyers penalty, number 14, Austin Way. 2 minutes for elbowing. Darling in to take the draw to the left of Dittman. Wildcats win it. Darling picks it up. Skates it to the near wing. Gets a bit of room. Fires it down the ice. Camillison on the forecheck. Wildcats just overskated at the half boards. Picked up and bring it down the far wing. Centering attempt into Darling's feet. He regroups it. Lifts it to the red line. Not much further. Bouncing puck. Chipped back in the Wildcat zone. Wildcats to the near boards. Savory fires it. Darling had to duck out of the way. Puck settles down in the near corner. Wildcats take it to the far side. Passed up to their own blue line and out. DeCamillis trying to steal it. O'Shea lifts that to the blue line, not out. Dumped in. Wildcats alone in front. Dittman covers that for the whistle. To go on the Flyers penalty. Ambrosio steps in to take the draw. Scrum draw into the ref's feet. Wildcats come up with it in the near corner. To Ambrosio, he hits the brakes, sends it back to the corner. Savory. Wildcats come up with it, lift it up the front. Pass to the point, across to the far side. Shot, tipped wide of the net. Wildcats come up with it, Dittman way out of position. Puck settles down in the far corner. Guglietti tries to get there first. Wildcats hold him in, get it deeper in the corner. Wildcats centering attempt, shot. Dittman with the pad save. Rebound cleared out of the way by Savory. To the blue line by Guglietti, not out. Wildcats send it back to the far corner. Picked up by Ambrosio. He spun his tires trying to get going, clears it to center ice. Wildcats bring it back in the Flyers territory. Passed across to the near corner, out of the reach of the winger. Wildcats cross to the far point. To the near side, walks in, lets a shot go. On target, Dittman makes the save, rebound. Cleared to the blue line, not out. Wildcats send it back in the far corner. Back to 5-on-5. O'Shea chips it out to Ambrosio. Ambrosio has Felix screaming for it on the near wing. Ambrosio in over the blue line. Felix in front of the net, centering pass, just out of his reach. Flyers defense were changing, they couldn't get over in time. Wildcats down the near wing. Sloan cleared it to the blue line, not out. Felix off the boards to the blue line, that'll come through center. Down. Andrade in deep, picks it up on the near side.
Nice, Mills.
Off the boards. Pass across to the blue line and out. Wildcats through center in over the Flyers territory. Mass with a good stick. Breaks up that rush. Turns, fires it up the boards to the blue line and out. Wildcats chasing down the far corner. They'll pick it up. Andrade in on the forecheck. Wildcats to the near blue line. Lost there off the skate. Nickel turns, brings it back in the zone. Shot off the blocker to the far corner. Andrade just overskated it. Wildcats fighting for it with Nickel. Andrade trying to center it, but nobody was there. Nickel settles the puck down. Off his backhand, gets it to the near boards. Wildcats turn, fire up to the blue line and out. Sloan leaves it for Mass. Pass to Felix. Felix gets it out of the zone to the far side. Felix in over the blue line. Under pressure, gets it to the corner. Centering attempt off the Wildcats skate. He gets hauled down. Got away with one there. Centering attempt picked up by the Wildcats. They'll pass that up to center ice. Bringing it over the near wing. Shot. Dittman makes the save. Big rebound picked up by Telford. He'll throw that off the glass to the blue line, kept there by Wildcats. Shot wide of the net to the far corner. Jeffrey Stedman gets it behind for Telford. He gets pressured, sends it around the near boards. Intended for Lunny. Collision. They're both up. They're all right. Lunny along the near boards with Telford. Lunny still battling. Sloan steps in, picks it up, brings it behind the Flyers' goal. He'll send it up the far boards to the blue line, held there by the Wildcats. Sloan got a piece of it to break up the play. Thrown in front. One-timer missed wide. Lunny and Jeffrey Stedman. The puck comes to the behind the net, picked up by the Wildcats. And the net's off its post. 9.5 minutes to go in the second period. .9:34 to go in the second period. Darling in for the draw. And drop. Darling comes up to Deacon-Millis at the blue line. He gets swiped at, comes to the near boards. Wildcats pick it up, back in their own zone. Behind the net, far side. Deacon-Millis pressuring. Deacon-Millis stopped there by Darling. Just lost the handle. Wildcats back in Flyers territory. Way clears it to the far boards. Wildcats pick it up again. Behind the net, thrown out front. Comes to the point, shot. High over the net, rebound. Off the side of the net, Way clears that out the far boards. Wildcats dump it back in. Behind the net. Played out to the far boards. Ambrosio collects it. Centering attempt. Glove down by the Wildcats. Deacon-Millis in. Darling down the far boards. In the skates, wasn't sure where it was. Cleared to the blue line, Way with the shot. Deflected just wide by Darling. Fired hard up the boards. Savory holds it there, lifts it back in the zone. Wildcats send it into the Flyers territory. That was offside. Nichols steps in to take the draw just outside the Wildcat zone. He wins it, gets it to Felix. Felix steps around the D, takes it wide, shot into the glove. Team's reset. Nichols back in for the draw. Bouncing puck. Wildcats swipe at it, get it to the near corner. Felix tried to get it to Savory at the point. Savory holds the line. Wildcats do clear it out. Down the near wing. Into the Flyers territory. Icing waved off. O'Shea hits the brakes. Gets it to the near corner to Felix at the half boards. Wildcats pinch, get it in. Centering pass. Wildcats walk out front with it. Loose puck. Poke checked by Dittman to get it to the far corner. Savory to Nickel. Nickel fires it around the half boards. Kicked back in by the Wildcats to the corner. Savory in the far corner. Guglietti steps in. Picks it up. Right to the Wildcats player. Nickel swipes at it. Missed by a mile. Wildcats out front. Shot. Off the pad. And that's way off. Telford steps in to take the draw. Telford wins it. And Drady at the half boards, kept in by the Wildcats. The walk-off. Backhand, missed wide. Rebound at the near side. Picked up by Sloan. He's got that behind the net. Wildcats strip it to the near corner. Played back behind to the opposite side. Wildcats playing back and forth. Thrown out front. Loose puck. Dittman, pad save. Sloan clears the garbage out of the way to Andrade. Andrade intended for Telford. Read by the Wildcats. They're right in the slot. Loose puck shot. Dittman makes the save. Sloan clears it out again to the blue line. Kept in. Shot blocked by his own player. Lunny picks it up. Lifts it in off the near boards to the corner. Or goes chasing it. Wildcats around the near boards to the half boards. Played to the point. Sloan walks in. Shot blocked. To Andrade. He lifts it just over the net. Telford in the near corner. Lunny at the half boards. Wildcats pick it up. Out over the blue line down the near wing. Into the Flyers territory. Lunny cuts him off. Lets Mass pick up the puck behind the net. To the far corner. Whitby stripped it. Passed out front. Shot. Missed wide. Rebound. Wildcats in the far corner with possession. Saucer across to the near side. Shot from there. Pad save by Dittman. Rebound. Couldn't get the shot off. Wildcats in the far corner. Mass and Telford battling it out. 5:40 to go in the second period. Telford. Mass gets it behind the net for Lunny. He fires it hard off the boards to the blue line. Held there by the Wildcats. Tipped. Bad save by Dittman. Rebound. And it's in. Darling in for the draw after that Wildcats goal. He wins the draw to Ambrosio. Ambrosio takes it to the far wing. Just over the blue line, doesn't get it very deep. Wildcats passed across to the near wing, up to center. Lifted into the Flyers territory to the near corner. Jeffrey Stedman fires it around the boards to Way in the far corner. Way, intended for Darling, didn't get all of it. Second effort sends it all the way down. That'll be icing. Face off, back in the Flyers territory. Darling steps in to take it. Scrum draw, won by Wildcats. A little too clean, all the way back to center ice. Wildcats back in their own zone. Passed across, back to the near wing. Now sketchy, up to center ice, in on the near wing. Jeffrey Stedman picks it up, sends it back to the half boards, pinched there by the Wildcats. Wildcats in the near side, shot from a steep angle off the post. Rebound cleared out of the way by Jeffrey Stedman to the corner. Darling gets it back to the corner. Wildcats come up with it, off the wall. Loose puck through traffic. Wildcats couldn't shoot from there. Shot. Rebound, and it's in. Flyers calling a timeout. Goaltender change here for the Flyers.
Let's go!
Shake the team up a little bit. Let's go, boys. Nickel in for the draw. Nickel wins it. Guglietti reached for it, couldn't quite get a piece of it. Wildcats dumping in the zone. I guess I'm not standing here, that's okay. Savory in the near corner to Nickel. Back in the near corner. Nickel holds it there. Savory. Puck comes loose. Guglietti picks it up, takes it out the far side. Gets a bit of a slash. Cleared to the blue line, held there by the Wildcats. Shot misfired. Felix clears it out. Wildcats play it off the near boards. Back in the zone. O'Shea in the far corner. Has a bit of time. Plays it off the boards up to center ice. Wildcats dumped it back in the zone. Nickel picks it up at the half boards. Cleared up to center. Wildcats back in their own zone. To the near wing. Passed up to center and over the blue line. Wildcats walk out front to the far corner. Guglietti pressures him to O'Shea. Loose puck. Wildcats to the near side. Spinning. Trying to center. Nickel to Guglietti off the near boards. Guglietti gets bumped. Got all four Flyers in the side. Wildcats come up with it. Take it behind. Walked out front. Shot. Milks holds that for the whistle. .302 to go in the second period. Telford in for the draw to the left of Milks. From draw, Telford to Mass in the far corner, off the boards. For Andrade, doesn't get enough of it. Centers to Lunny. Lunny fell. Dumps it back safely into the far corner. Mass. Off the boards, intercepted by the Wildcats. Andrade gets bumped. Mass battling. Telford comes up with it. Lifts it to Lunny at the blue line. Lunny skates it down through center. In over the Wildcat blue line. Takes it wide to the near corner. Centering attempt off the back of the net for Andrade behind. He gets bumped. Wildcats send it around the near boards. Around Sloan. Back in the Flyers territory at the half boards. Wildcats in the corner. Centering attempt. Stick saved by Milks to the far boards. Wildcats chip it into the far corner to the half boards. Andrade picks it off. Sends that to the blue line. That's out. Dumped back in. Mass. Takes it behind his own net to the near side. Up to Lunny at the half boards. Lunny plays it off to center. Wildcats jump it back in the Flyers territory. Centering attempt off of Telford's foot. Goes to the far corner. Mass to Andrade. Off balance. Wildcats pick it up. Shot. Milks holds that for the whistle. Minute 39 to go in the second period. Darling steps in to take the draw. Wildcats win it to the blue line, past center, lifted in front, tipped by Way. Milks jumps on that one and holds it for the whistle. Darling back in for the draw. Wildcats win it. Picked off by DeCamillis to Darling. Darling gets it out of the zone up to center ice. Picked off by the Wildcats. They'll play it off the near boards. DeCamillis steps in over the blue line. DeCamillis takes it to the corner, runs out of real estate, shovels it in behind the Wildcats net. Darling out front for Ambrosio. He lets a shot go, doesn't get all of it. Tips just wide of Darling. Darling sends it along to the half boards. Wildcats pick it up. Off the boards, Way stood him up there, sends it back in the zone. 1 minute to go in the second period. DeCamillis on the forecheck. Chases into the near corner. Up through center, Jeffrey Stedman. Off the boards, back into the Wildcat zone. They'll play it to the Flyers blue line. Ambrosio to Way, through his feet. Wildcats walk in the middle. Across, shot off the side of the net. Rebound to the near corner. Wildcats played in behind the net. Way, under pressure, sends that high up to center ice for Ambrosio. Ambrosio in over the blue line. Shot, missed wide. Rebound to the near corner for Darling. Just out of his reach. Wildcats bring it back into the Flyers' territory. Flips it around Way to the near side. Shot. One-timer for the man out front, and it's in. .3 seconds to go in the second period. Come on, boys. Nickel in for the draw. He wins it clean to Guglietti through his feet. Guglietti. No, Wildcats chip it into the Flyers zone. O'Shea off the far boards to center ice. And that'll do it for the second period. I'm going to mute this. There we go. Nichols steps in to take the draw. Wildcats win it back in their own zone. Felix keeps it in. The blue line chips it up to Guglietti. Guglietti walks in, shot. Blocker saved to the near corner. Wildcats come up with the rebound. Guglietti chips it back into the near corner. To Nickel. Nickel behind the net. intended for Guglietti, intercepted by the Wildcats. Guglietti comes up with it, out front, shot. Centered, rebound, picked up by Wildcats. They'll pass that up to center ice, back in the Flyers territory. Savory kept them on the outside. Puck sitting at the half boards. Savory and Felix to the blue line, dumped back in to Savory. Finally cleared up through center ice. Guglietti chasing. Passed up to the near wing, in over the blue line, back in the Flyers territory. Shot wide of the net. O'Shea around the near boards. Doesn't get very far. Wildcats send it back in. O'Shea. Back to O'Shea. He walks out, gets it to Lunny. Lunny to the near wing for Telford at center. Telford in over the blue line. To Guglietti. Couldn't quite hold it. Wildcats pick it up at center ice, bring it back in the Flyers territory. Through the D, Mass gets tripped up. Loose puck. Get a whistle. Telford in for the draw to the right of Milks. Wildcats win it. To the point, dumped in off the boards to the near far corner. That'll roll around to the near side for Mass. Under pressure. Tried to get it to Andrade. Back to Telford out the far side this time. To Lunny at the half boards. Lunny taking it down the near far wing. Lifts it into the zone. Bit of interference, no call. Puck settles down behind the net. Wildcats pick it up and bring it up the near side through center. In over the blue line. Pass to the near wing just outside of his reach. Wildcats with possession, lifted out front. Through traffic, Lunny going to the far side. Wildcats dump it back in the corner. Telford to the half boards for Lunny. Back to Telford. Pops over his stick. Sloan picks it up. Shovels it. Telford to Lunny. Lunny clears the zone. Wildcats back in their own zone. Pass across ice. One touch in over the blue line. Around Mash. Shot. Milks makes a good save. Rebound goes to the far corner. Jeffrey Stedman battling for it. Wildcats with the puck behind the Flyers goal line. Mash and Telford trying to battle it out. Puck squirts out. Thrown up front to the blue line. Wildcats cross ice. They'll keep it in. Shot from Shea. I don't know how Milks got across there. Rebound in the near corner. Oh shit. Mouse gets run over. Telford sends it out the far side for Jeffrey Stedman. Wildcats still with possession deep in the Flyers zone. DeCamillis to Andrade. He'll lift that to center ice. Wildcats back in the Flyers blue line. Around the D. Shot over the net. Darling on the rebound. Brings it up the far wing. Across the blue line, up through center ice. He gets run out of room. Wildcats turn it over. Back in the Flyers territory, down the far wing. Centering pass, Milks got a piece of it, didn't have the puck. .23 to go in the third period. Darling steps in to take the draw. Wildcats win it. Jeffrey Stedman plays it up the half board. Wildcats dump it in back deep. Centering pass, shot.
Very nice.
And it's in. Telford in for the draw. After that Wildcats goal, Telford wins it. Here's it across to Lunny on the far wing. He lifts it into the zone. Hard around behind to the near corner. Wildcats to the half boards. Telford got there first, gets it into Andrade. Wildcats strip it up to the point. O'Shea lets the shot go. Stick save to the far corner. Cleared to the blue line. Savory kept it in for Lunny. Wildcats pick it up in the far corner, send it behind their net to the near side. Wildcats up through center. O'Shea intended for Savory. That was behind him. Savory better move. Clears the puck to the near corner for O'Shea. Wildcats out front. Stepped around one. Lost the handle. Puck goes behind the net to the far corner. Lunny hard off the boards to the blue line. Not out. Shot from the point. Missed wide to the near half boards. Wildcats are on it. Played behind the net. To the far corner. Back behind the net. Wildcats throw it out front. In traffic. Picked up by Telford. He's got Lunny coming with him. Telford takes it over the far wing. Poke check by the Wildcats. Get the puck to the far corner. Lunny battling behind the net. Andrade steps in. Wildcats pick it up. Loose puck out front. Wildcats cleared up through to the near boards. In the Flyers territory. Mass plays it safely to the corner. Throws it hard off the glass. That'll clear the zone to the Wildcats blue line and out. Wildcats through center ice, in over the Flyers blue line. Fast across. Shot. Milks with the save. Rebound. Come on, guys. Let's go, boys. 9:15 to go in the third period. Nickel wins the draw, clean into the Flyers territory. Way. Cross ice for Felix, tape to tape. Felix in over the blue line. Under pressure. Turns, fires it behind the net for Guglietti. He picks it up. Guglietti gets it to the far corner. Wildcats send it to the near side. Nickel. He gets bumped. Nickel with it. Use your D. Centering attempt for Felix, intercepted by the Wildcats. Felix back in over the blue line. Just offside. Nickel on the draw, scrum draw. Picked up by the Wildcats. They'll play that back on their own net. Wildcats out the far corner. Cuts back to the near wing. Backhand pass up to the Flyers blue line and in. Way intercepts that. Sends it back to the Wildcats blue line. Wildcats tip that back in. Jeffrey Stedman gets it to Guglietti, who turns, fires it across ice to the near boards. In the Wildcats territory. They'll play that to the blue line. To center, Way with a shot, tipped. Flyers are offside. Wildcats through center ice, back in the Flyers territory. Down to the near corner. Way got away with one there. Shot from the point, blocked by Way's foot. Rebound, cleared out by Dittman. Lunny gets the shot to the point, intercepted by Telford. Back to Lunny. One-on-one, Lunny taking it down the far wing. Stick check, Lunny picks it up along the far corner. Here's the point, Savory throws it on net. Missed just wide, Guglietti picks it up behind the Wildcats goal. Cleared to the near corner. Passed up to the blue line and out. Through center, Wildcats chip it off the glass and into the zone. Wildcats pick it up in the far corner. They'll send it behind the Flyers goal. Telford to the half boards. Lunny racing for it. Gets it to the blue line, but not out. Wildcats walk in front with it. Jam play. Dittman covers that for the whistle. Telford steps in to take the draw to the right of Dittman. Wins it. Wildcats pick it up. Thrown out front, shot. It's in.
Might be 3. Might have deflected the first one.
Should have dived that higher a long time.
Well, he got it before.
Darling in for the draw. Wildcats win it back to their blue line. Up through center, into the Flyers territory. Icing's waved off. Mass back to pick it up in the near corner. Off the boards for Ambrosio. Gets to the blue line, kept in by the Wildcats. DeCamillis picks up that puck. Skates up through center, in over the blue line. DeCamillis wide. Throws it out front. Intercepted by the Wildcats. They'll clear the zone. Just out of the reach of Sloan. Sloan back in his own blue line. To Mass. Up the near wing for Ambrosio. He lifts it off the boards. A funny bounce picked out by the Wildcats. They'll chip it into the Flyers territory. Sloan. For breaks, clears it to the half boards. Sloan tried to play it off of Ambrosio, but picked up. Tic-tac-toe. And it's in.
I think it does.
Nickel in for the draw. Nickel wins it. Guglietti jumps on it. Lifts it into the Wildcat zone, but they'll pick it up, cleared up to center ice. To Nickel, back to the Wildcats in the zone. Wildcats back to the point. Shot from the point, tipped. Wide of the net by Way. To the near corner. Wildcats send it behind the net to the far side. Felix didn't get there in time. Wildcats throw it out front. Under pressure, Felix comes up with it, gets it to the blue line, not out. Wildcats through the legs out front. Lifted over Dittman just wide of the net. Wildcats with possession behind the goal. To the far corner. Up to the point. Thrown on net. Just off the side. Felix off the boards through center. Guglietti giving chase. Pressuring to the corner. Wildcats cleared up to the far boards. Andrade kept it in, gets it to Guglietti. Guglietti walks around. Shot. I think that went off the glove and missed wide. To the near corner. Wildcats. Up to the half boards through center ice into the Flyer zone. Shot blocked by O'Shea. Wildcats send it behind the net to the far corner. Lunny hits the break, sends it back in behind the net. Wildcats are there, get it to the far corner. Savory, Lunny. 4.5 minutes to go in the period. Savory comes up with it. And the Flyers are going to the box. Flyers penalty, number 19, losing Lunny. 2 minutes for roughing. 4:29 to go in the third period. Telford in for the draw. Won by the Wildcats. To the blue line, backing off the half boards. They'll lift that to the far corner. Wildcats behind the net to the near side. Centering attempt, hits Andrade in the stick. Wildcats back to the blue line. Lifted to the far corner. Savory held it there, gets bumped. Telford gets a piece of it, sends it back the opposite direction, picked off by the Wildcats. Played to the blue line. Centering attempt, one-timer. Blocker saved by Dittman. Rebound. Settles down. Dittman will cover that for the whistle. Darling steps in to take the draw. Won by the Wildcats to the point. to the near side. Picked off by Ambrosio. Ambrosio across for Darling, just out of his reach, goes to the far corner. Darling lost the battle against the Wildcats. Ambrosio slowed him down a second. Passed up to the blue line, back in the Flyers territory. Spinning, shot over the net. Sloan gets it to the near corner. Darling pressuring Wildcats with the puck. One-time attempt, missed. Sloan off the boards, gets the blue line, but not out. Wildcats back to the point. Into the face-off circle, shot. Bad save stick save by Dittman. Rebound cleared to the near boards. Wildcats to the corner, Mass sends it back to the corner, played out front. Wildcats centering attempt, intercepted by Darling. 2-on-1, Darling and Ambrosio in over the blue line. Saucer pass. Ambrosio with the shot. In the glove. Discrepancy with the scoreboard. Camilla steps in to take the draw. A couple seconds to go on the Flyers penalty. Wildcats win it. Played to the far half boards. Back to 5-on-5. Felix kept them in. Wildcats play up the near side. Center ice. Nickel slows him down. Puck comes to Way. He'll clear that to center ice, right to the Wildcats. DeCamillis at center. In over the blue line. Takes it to the far boards. Gets pinned. Nickel picks up the puck in the corner. He gets bumped. Wildcats with possession, fired harder on the near boards. To the blue line, Way pinching, keeps it in. Way walks out front, just lost the handle. Clears that to Jeffrey Stedman at center ice. Jeffrey Stedman back to Way. Way in with the blue line, winds up. Shot wide of the net. Rebound comes to Felix. Felix keeps it in the corner. Wildcats clear it out. Guglietti jumps on that loose puck. Couldn't quite hold on to it. Wildcats come up. Passed up to center ice. Back in the Flyers' blue line. Shot. Blocker saved by Dittman. Rebound cleared out of the way by Jeffrey Stedman. Puck behind the Flyers' goal. We got a minute 15 to go in the period. Cleared off the near boards. That'll go down into the Wildcats zone. Wildcats play it across to the far side. Passed up through the middle. Felix almost intercepted it. Wildcats back in the Flyers territory to the far corner out front. Dittman makes the shoulder save. Again, Wildcats missed wide. Way fires it around the near boards, picked off by the Wildcats. They walk in, shot off of Dittman's blocker to the far side. Felix cleared to the point, not out. Dumped back in, O'Shea to Felix, to the half boards. Back to Felix. He couldn't hold on to it. And Grady drives it to the blue line. Felix gets it to Andrade at the half boards. Dumped back in by the Wildcats. Way couldn't clear it. Wildcats get in over the blue line. O'Shea off the near boards to Andrade. Andrade lifts it into the near corner. 5 seconds to go in the period. Andretti. And that'll do it for the game. Tough one, boys.